we've brought on no one better than Mumsy herself. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is going to be a very, very interesting episode. Hopefully they don't bag me out too much. Incubating a real estate agent. Yeah, as I said, we brought on my mum. Stay tuned. We're going to have a bit of fun this morning. Going to roll the intro.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is going to be an exciting episode. On a serious note, there's a lot of kids that are going through their HSC, and a lot of kids that are at a really sensitive part of their life, thinking, "What are we going to do with the rest of our lives? Should I do this degree? Should I do that degree? Should I do real estate?" You're in the perfect position to give some advice to some pretty sensitive kids at the moment, at a pivotal point in their life.
Yeah, I think a very hard time for youngsters nowadays, and there's a lot of pressure on them to do so well and be the best and get all these exam results to go on to university. That wasn't really the case in our household. I suppose going back a couple of generations in our house, I dropped out of school at 15 with no qualifications. My father did exactly the same.
Very common.
Yeah, very common. Not that Billy dropped out of school. He did finish his HSC, but I think as a parent is try not to put too much pressure on them. They'll all get there in the end. I think it's more important trying to find something that drives you in life, a passion.
Now, you're a pretty driven mum. This morning you did your 8-kilometre jog. Do you reckon any of that's rubbed off on Billy?
Not the running part.
But Billy's only just got out of bed, so yeah, definitely not the running part.
Literally.
Yeah.
Billy
hasn't brushed his teeth, you reckon?
No, I definitely brushed my teeth because I knew I wouldn't hear the end of it. That's definitely not happening. But it's true. 5 minutes, but literally 10 minutes before we jumped on live, called Mark. I was like, my alarm died, my phone died. I need your help. Mum was here.
But yeah, I think I was just going to say, I think it's definitely finding something that you've got a passion for, whether that, your passion in your work, your passion in your hobbies. And when you have that passion, you want to be the best to your ability. And I think that definitely has rubbed off on Billy.
Did you guys ever, as husband and wife, mum and dad, turn around and make suggestions of what you thought Billy should do? Perhaps not to Billy, but to yourselves. Did you ever have a little little shuffle where you said, "Oh, he should do this or he should do that, or he'd be great at this"?
I think the ball started to roll, to be honest, Mark, when he was probably about 13, 14, and he went back to the UK for a month's holiday on his own from Australia back to the UK to stay with his grandparents. And his grandfather had said to him, "It's lovely you're coming for a month's holiday, but it's not going to be a full holiday. Whilst you're here, we're going to set you up with some work experience, some jobs." And he went to a vet, went into surgery and watched the little animals having their surgery. Came away from that day's work experience and went, "No, I definitely don't want to be a vet." He went up to London to the Santander dealing rooms, the trading rooms, and loved the buzz. So I think it's getting out there as a young person and having that work experience of all sorts of different jobs to see what appeals to you and what doesn't appeal.
This granddad of Billy I've heard a lot about, and Billy I'm going to be seeing in a couple of weeks. It sounds like he's. How many granddads do that? That's pretty clever, pretty wired.
He's a very, very important person in my life. That's for sure. Very fortunate to have someone like that.
So good. So you came back. So that's still not real estate.
That's still not real estate. Then he came back, and work experience came up at school, and he thought that he would like to have a go and do work experience in a real estate agent. Very good friend of mine set that up for him. Off he went and did his week, and he absolutely loved it. And I think at that point, that's what it was. And again, it has to be his decision. It can't be mine or Rob's or his grandfather's. He's got to find what floats his boat. And then I think it's about the people that you're surrounded by as well. And I think for him, it's been perfect. Coming into Novak, it's great. It's, he's doing well and he loves it.
And after he came back, sorry, Billy.
I was just saying that people for me play
huge part.
Play like everything, really, yeah.
And when Billy came back from that first day of work experience or second day of work experience, what were the comments that were coming back to mum and dad?
It was about my shirt. I tried to get away with wearing the same shirt twice, 2 days in a row. I got caught out for being stinky.
No.
Yeah. I think that was at the back of the week though. So yeah,
good for
that
school,
was bad.
good for work.
Nah, I wasn't getting away with it.
I think it was getting dressed up, isn't it? Putting your tie on, putting a suit on. It's such a different experience to going to a day at school. And you're involved with people at work and seeing what's going on and people buying houses and selling houses. And it
was good.
It was great. It's good. And as I say, I think if you can find anything that you really, really enjoy, you will excel in it because of you enjoyed it. It's not like I wouldn't say, and I think I can say this.
Yeah.
And I think for myself as well, that it's not going to work. It's really sad when you hear people that they're going to work. Oh, and I hate my work. And I think if you ever have to do a day's work like that, where you really hate it, look to do something else.
Awful.
Awful. And I know Billy would say that there isn't a day that he doesn't enjoy it.
No.
Any questions for Billy or for me or highlights you want to you're thinking about speaking about today on?
I think it's just, as I say, going back to young people, I think it's just get out there, have a go, but also as if you've got young people coming into your business as well, I think it's really important to realise what a huge impact you make on that young person's life. And I see a little bit with my work that, people don't have a huge amount of time for the youngsters, and it takes a lot of time to train them, et cetera, et cetera. But
what do you do for work?
So I'm a fitness instructor. Yep. Yeah. So in my younger days, I was a hairdresser. So I used to get a lot of young people coming in and starting their apprenticeship with me. And I think it's a really important position that you take, knowing that, you can make so much change to those youngsters and teach them everything that you know. So, you've got to invest a lot of time into them to get them to what you want them to be. But if you take that time to invest them,
hopefully it turns out.
Everyone.
It's not worked as well at home. 20 years and we're still going. Can only just about make the bed.
It's true. It's true.
This is a bit hard.
He's a mucky little person at home. He is, Mark.
That'll might take a little time or a long time, but it'll change. So tell me, what are some proud moments where Billy's come back and said, "Mum, I've nailed it today," where you thought that's my boy?
Aww.
Oh, so many things. I wouldn't say. I can't think of anything.
Mum does get everything told through. Everything goes through to Mum.
I mean,
Really? Isn't
on
that?
a day, he can be sitting on the couch and he's popped in for a cup of tea, and I'm listening to him constantly phoning people or receiving phone calls. Even those tiny little things, I think, wow. I remember 9 o'clock, I think it was, on a Sunday evening when you were in rentals, and he'd had a phone call from somebody who'd locked themselves out, and he came into work and got the key so they could get themselves back in because they couldn't get hold of the the key guy.
Yeah.
Those little moments, and you think, that makes it Sunday night, 9 o'clock, young. Those are the little moments you think, I suppose, as a parent, we've dropped some good things into it. Yeah.
And
I'm
most embarrassing moment?
Most what?
Embarrassing moment? The moment where you just went, real estate.
Ooh,
Work. I don't know.
gosh.
Take your pick.
Oh, gosh. I have to have a little think on that one, Mark. Most embarrassing moment. I'm probably the one that embarrasses him, I think, more so than him.
like a good mum.
And I'm not telling you those ones.
And tell me, were there any signs when like, I guess, what I'm hearing from today, it's like it can't be your idea, it can't be mum's idea, it can't be dad's idea. It's got to be as your kids growing up, it's got to be their nugget, their idea. It's almost dangerous if the idea comes from mum and dad, maybe.
Yeah,
it's got to be like
it's good to make those suggestions, maybe, or plant those seeds, but there's nothing worse than being pushed into something that you don't want to do. Nobody wants that.
No.
And there will always be a grind. If you choose something and you enjoy it, you're laughing. Work becomes kind of pleasure. You've got great people around you that you can socialise with. It's the whole picture, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And what do your friends say about Billy and his job?
Oh, well, yes,
Mum works with quite a lot of like the seniors. That's Mum's speciality.
Yeah, they all follow him.
So they've all got time for a chat.
Yeah, all got time for a chat. All follow. Always ask how he's doing. Can't believe that he's bought his first property. Yeah, it's good. It's good. As long as he's happy, that's all that we can ask as a parent, isn't it?
It is.
Work hard and be happy.
You just mentioned Billy buying a property, and when we're on off air, you spoke about it. How old was Billy when he said, "I'm buying a property"?
I remember about age 12, he got a job in an ice cream. It's like a little ice cream factory, I suppose. And he would turn up on a Sunday morning and for a 4-hour shift and blow the leaves and do a bit of tidying up around the park. They had like a kiddies park attached to it. And then and the guy would say to him, that's it, Billy, lovely, thanks for your shift. And Billy would say, is there anything else I can do? Because I've got time, because he knew that he wanted to earn more money and get extra shifts. So he ended up putting labels on ice cream tubs. And and I'd say he's always saved. He's always been a saver. And obviously he knew 18, he wanted to buy his property. We've never given him a penny towards it, or a dollar, I should say, towards it. He didn't want any of our money for it. It's fantastic. Admirable.
And did he say at the age of 12, I'm going to buy a property, or what age was he? Was like, this is why I'm doing it.
I think it probably was about 12, 13, wasn't it?
It's when it only started really coming together though, when I started lifeguarding, because I think it's so hard to say I'm going to buy a property when you're earning, a small amount of money in your first job. It was like pocket money kind of thing. Like, but when you start seeing the amount all accumulate, come together, and you're working towards that deposit, then it really comes alive.
And I think, and from the outside in observation from me with you guys, is I think also there's certain people that are instrumental in our kids' lives as mums and dads and stuff like that. And when it comes to the property thing or business thing, I've heard a lot about Granddad.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about this great man. So it's amazing how important. And I don't know, from an outsider's point of view, as an observation, and it seems like he doesn't say much, but Billy really listens, because he's not around, he's not in Australia, but you've got a lot of respect and you take a lot of notes, and I think a lot of this has come from great parents and grandparents.
I think so. As I say, I think a lot of it's about the people that you have around you that influence you through life, isn't it? And I think, with my dad, it's all about do what you want to do. Do whatever you want, whatever your passion is, you will succeed if you have a passion. You will work extremely long hours if you have a passion and you're not reluctantly doing it. You're doing it because you love it. That's what he did in his career. I suppose it's what I've done in my career. I'm going back to the UK next week, catching up with a friend of mine who I worked for when I was 15 years of age. She's a great, great pal of mine. So it's all about the people that you surround yourself in. And if they're good people, you're laughing.
I've got a quote.
Go, roll the quote.
Environment loads the gun, nature pulls the trigger.
Yeah, nice.
Well said.
So Billy's nature is just absolutely, incredible. So well done.
Great. This has been great. I thought I was going to be rinsed this morning.
Well, now for that bit. That's good.
Well, Andrew, thanks for coming on this morning. You're an absolute legend. Hopefully, we've helped some people out there, some young'uns and young and old parents that are thinking about their kids' future, and kids that are thinking about their future. Hopefully we helped them today.
I hope so. As I say, just follow your dreams.
Aww.
We're going to go out on that one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
See ya.